It's June 15th, 2021, and this is Sketchworks NewsBrake. The news stops here. I'm Brian Troxell. At the G7 summit in Cornwall, England, world leaders signed a declaration professing their unanimous stance as anti-pandemic, which is a huge relief. I was worried they might be pro-pandemic. I feel a lot better now. Thank you, G7. Your meeting wasn't a waste of time after all. NPR reports the United States will likely not hit the 70% COVID-19 vaccination rate by the 4th of July, as President Joe Biden hoped. On the bright side, you won't have to worry about Budweiser making good on its promise to buy Americans a beer. Joe Biden told U.S. troops the country's biggest threat is climate change, a week after saying it was white supremacists. So be very afraid of Nazis commingling paper and plastic. 65 pounds of cocaine washed ashore at the Space Force station in Cape Canaveral, Florida. It was supposed to arrive on July 20th when Jeff Bezos flies into space, but because he has Amazon Prime, his delivery arrived early. International newspapers recently published photos revealing North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has had significant weight loss. What's his secret? The Gulag prisoner diet. Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich announced he is seeking a seat in the U.S. Senate. He is also seeking the letter U for his last name. Marjorie Taylor Greene, the congressional equivalent of a forwarded email from your crazy uncle, now says she's sorry for comparing COVID-19 vaccine and mask requirements to the Holocaust. She meant to say COVID-19 vaccine and mask requirements are comparable to the Trail of Tears, the forced internment of Japanese Americans during World War II, and the Atlanta Falcons blowing a 28-3 lead in Super Bowl 51. Oxford University removed a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II from the Common Room due to colonial associations. They've also removed all train schedules from university bulletin boards due to Holocaust implications. For the first time in history, an unmanned Navy drone was able to refuel a fighter jet in midair. Sadly, both planes crashed after the pilot turned his phone off of airplane mode. The COVID-19 pandemic is changing the traffic jams that we all love so much. How do we know this? Because Sketchworks NewsBrake correspondent Tim Millard is about to get stuck in one.
Well, it's a tough job, but someone's got to do it. According to streetlight data, traffic has changed as a result of the pandemic. Morning rush hour traffic is not what it used to be anymore because more people are working from home. But the report finds that traffic is building through the day. For example, people who are working from home and decide they want to go out and run some errands. The end result is more traffic during the afternoon rush hour. How do I know that? Because right now I'm driving down Interstate 85 into Atlanta, and I'm about to hit some of the worst rush hour traffic there is. Fantastic. For Sketchworks NewsBrake, I'm Tim Millard.
Thank you, Tim. The Chicago Cubs welcomed a full-capacity crowd to Wrigley Field last Friday for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic started, coming back from a 5-1 deficit to beat the Cardinals 8-5. Later that evening, the Miami Marlins also welcomed a full-capacity crowd to Lone Depot Park as they beat the Braves 4-3. Restaurants continue to reopen as the COVID-19 pandemic subsides. And so here is the latest news from restaurants. News from restaurants. A Business Insider report faults late Subway co-founder Fred DeLuca for nearly ruining the once popular sandwich chain. According to the story, DeLuca slept with franchisees' wives, micromanaged everything, and cut costs to the extreme. Subway's disgraced former spokesman, Jared Fogle, says, "Well, at least I didn't do any of that." Chipotle is raising food prices to help cover the cost of paying its workers $15 an hour. The nausea and vomiting that happens after you eat Chipotle will remain free. A woman in Wisconsin set her husband on fire after she believed he poisoned her chicken wings. Someone should just tell her that's how food tastes at Applebee's. A labor shortage is forcing restaurant owners to come up with creative ways to hire new employees who otherwise wouldn't work demanding jobs for minimum wage. For example, the aforementioned Applebee's gave free appetizers to people who showed up for interviews. Because, as we all know, underpaid restaurant workers can definitely pay their rent and bills with mozzarella sticks and poisoned chicken wings. A female trucker in Tennessee turned heads on social media after people mistook her for Amy Schumer. Although after conversing for 5 seconds, it became obvious she wasn't Amy Schumer because she didn't mention her vagina. Speaking of truckers and vaginas, let's check back in with Tim Millard and see how he's doing out on the open road.
Oh good, people are stopping again. Why? I have no idea.
A federal judge says New York cannot force broadband companies to provide internet service to low-income customers for as little as $15 a month. However, the judge says it's still okay to use any remaining hours on those AOL CDs you received in 1996. A Florida high school didn't give out yearbooks because it contained a section dedicated to Black Lives Matter. But that's what happens when the yearbook editor is also the president of the school's KKK club. Wednesday, the crew of a Russian icebreaker ship in the Arctic rescued a lost dog from an ice field, which is exactly how the thing started. And now a popular NewsBrake feature, the gratuitous plug portion of the show. As more and more performance venues start to open, Sketchworks Comedy will begin doing live shows again, which means we need funny writers. If you would like to be a funny writer for Sketchworks Comedy, sign up today for our 6-week Intro to Sketch Comedy writing course, led by our head writer, John D. Babcock III. The course is virtual and can be taken from the comfort of your own home, whether that home is in Atlanta, Georgia, Indianapolis, Indiana, or Fishkill, New York, which is a very peculiar name for a town. Anyway, in the class you'll learn about different genres of sketch comedy, collaborate with other writers, and acquire strategies to expand ideas and turn them into scripts. Are you interested? Then head on over to sketchworkscomedy.com and learn more and to sign up today. I don't have an echo effect. Also, while you're at our website, you can also learn about our Kid and Teen July summer camps, sketch acting classes, one-on-one coaching, our Patreon, and the upcoming ATL Sketchfest. Sketchworks Comedy. So much happening. On Saturday, the bodies of 2 missing fishermen were pulled from Connecticut's Housatonic River, which is exactly how the fog started. A Los Angeles nun who took a vow of poverty agreed to plead guilty to federal charges of stealing $800,000 to pay her gambling debts. Turns out the bad habit isn't what she was wearing on her head. A British family who threw a bottle with a message in it into the English Channel was surprised when it was found 30 miles away after only 1 week. Big effing deal. I can travel 30 miles in under an hour. In my car. I have a car. A car that can't travel 30 miles in under an hour is Tim Millard's car. Let's see how he's doing.
Why is it moving so slowly? Why?
A man in Winnipeg, Canada said he spotted an 8-foot-long white snake slithering in the grass alongside his house. The man blames gentrification. A New York City man robbed a Chase bank one day after getting released for another bank robbery. The police just can't figure out where he keeps getting bail money. According to the Labor Department, almost 3% of U.S. workers left their jobs in April. Rather than go back to the office, people are just quitting.
I don't get paid enough for this. I really don't. In fact, I don't get paid at all. Brian, do something about that. Nice turn signal, you jackass!